Story 1. We always have to be strong. Please do not misunderstand. I am strong, and I will take care of what needs to be done. I understand my role in life. But sometimes, how about someone take care of me? Story 2. There was a gentleman walking around with a camera and a microphone. He asked one simple question to only married women. Is your husband happy? The responses were interesting. First, there was always a long pause before the answer. Several women said, "Oh, we have never been asked this before." A significant number answered, "No." Story 3. Unless you achieve something, you are insignificant. That means no help, support, love, compassion, or even pity from society. Story 4. That kindness can be mistaken as weakness. That said, it tells you more about the person making the mistake. Story 5. Having to constantly be a therapist to women I am with while they have emotional breakdowns, while simultaneously holding in all my emotions because one tear can end a decade-long relationship. Story 6. My boyfriend confessed that he has not received a genuine compliment from anyone except me in over 2 years. As a woman, I get random compliments about my hair or outfit pretty regularly. It made me realize how emotionally starved men are for basic validation and kindness. Story 7. I see how my female friends, family, and coworkers seem to have many friends, and I am sitting here alone posting on Reddit instead of having a community that cares about me. I feel like I could vanish this instant, and it would take a few days for anyone to notice. Story 8. You are replaceable. You could be very good, but if they think there is a chance for someone better, even if unlikely, you are out and on to the next person. Story 9. No real gifts. Society hates you for having male genitalia or wanting to have male genitalia, as some transgender men before surgery have discovered. Everyone, especially supposedly more open and supportive communities, expects you to have absolutely no emotional input. Many in the upcoming generation, especially women, assume every man is a rapist, pedophile, and probably racist just because of having certain genitals. Story 10. All it takes is one lie, one false accusation, and your life is ruined. Even if it is proven in court to be false, your life is still ruined. Story 11. The fact that a loud, obnoxious, and crazy minority of men have treated women so badly that women just cast all of us as unpleasant or creepy, to the point where it is very difficult to make progress in dating with a woman. Story 12. Existence is pain. The amount of damage that can be inflicted upon me without causing death is astonishing. Story 13. Everything is your fault, even though you just arrived and do not remember doing anything particularly wrong. Story 14. Society as a whole hates when we show any emotion or vulnerability. We are only seen as valuable insofar as we can provide for others, never for our own sake. Story 15. You think that she could be different and that she actually cares, but really, they are just like all the rest and only want one thing. It is disgusting. They only want to use me for my body. Sometimes I just want to come home and talk about my day and my feelings. I am more than just a nice set of balls and a wallet. Am I right, fellas? Story 16. Just the loneliness of it, really. The Stoic approach creates real pressure, with the expectation to never show emotion while being a steady support for everyone else. Story 17. Not a bad thing, but the hard part is expectations. As a man, you are often expected to achieve some success, and it can be a bit scary. Story 18. The double standards, the demands and expectations not reciprocated, or how we just have to bite the bullet so often. How the expendable were treated, yet still expected to be there to help the people who treat us that way. Story 19. You are always responsible and always seen as the bad person. You have to make the decisions, especially the tough ones, because others will not, but you will be blamed for the suboptimal nature of these decisions. If you choose the lesser of evils, you still get blamed for the downsides of that decision, even if the alternatives were worse. People do not empathize with you and assume you are always selfish and controlling, even when you are making great efforts to accommodate others at your own expense. There are no excuses. If you are sad, scared, insecure, or whatever, that is your fault. No one will reassure you. No one will help you rebuild yourself. They just criticize you for being down. No one will ever make you feel sexually desirable unless it is specifically to undermine your existing relationship. You are expected to always have money and pay for everything. Story 20. I am always a threat. I will never stop being a threat, but I actually enjoy helping people, talking to people, and bringing joy to life. Story 21. Having to deal with double standards all the time. When a mother is caring for her child, she's a great mom, and the father is a deadbeat if she relaxes for a second. When a father is taking care of his child, he's babysitting and giving the mother a well-deserved break. When a man hates all women, he's an asshole and should be shunned by society. When a woman hates all men, she's right and obviously does not mean all men. Men should not get mad about it because she has the right to her own opinions. When a man is at a park looking at people and smiling when seeing a cute child, he's obviously a pedophile. When a woman does the same, she's just a friendly lady. When a woman has mental health issues, she gets the support she needs, and people ask if she's okay. If a man has mental health issues, he's told to suck it up. Of course, this is not the case 100% of the time, but it happens enough that it's no surprise the suicide rate among men is as high as it is. Hardworking men these days are treated like all the oppression women have faced in history is their fault, and how dare they not do anything about it. If you even think to speak up about it, you apparently hate women and hope they lose all their rights. All we want is for women to realize and respect that we hate the group of bad men just as much as they do. Please focus your hate on that group and not on us. At the same time, please call out people who blatantly hate and look down on men. We're people with emotions too, after all. Story 22. Reading what women say about men on the dating subreddits on Reddit is pretty depressing. That question women ask each other. Would you rather meet a man in the woods or a bear? Story 23. Other men, and I am not being sarcastic, are generally less expressive of their feelings. As a 67-year-old male, I can say with confidence that women are significantly more effective at creating bonds with other women. A big part of that is their common ability to discuss topics deeper than work, sports, and weather. I am crazy about my wife, and my children mean more to me than anything, but I would like more male friends just to be able to talk about male topics with other men. Story 24. Not knowing how to read a woman's mind but expected to have the ability to do so. I understand the Mars and Venus concept, but clear communication is better than playing the guessing game. What baffles me is how they usually do not communicate like that at work, but a switch goes off when they get home and want us to know what they are thinking. I do not understand that mentality and never will. I got lucky talking to a woman tonight who communicated very well and was blunt, which threw me off and made me realize it is possible. I am not sure why that is not the norm, but we will probably never know. Many men on many occasions have been left thinking, "What did I do?" and may never know because we are supposed to guess. We love you, ladies, but throw us a life preserver once in a while. Story 25. The perception that women have about men, such as we cannot be good caretakers and that every man is a creep in some way, is incorrect and unfair. Story 26. Guys are told to toughen up by fathers and stop being so emotional, whereas women want men to open up and express their feelings. However, once men do open up, women lose their spark and attraction to them, and fathers think less of their sons. It is a lose-lose situation. Story 27. Dealing with prostate problems. I am only in my 30s, but I already experience related issues. For example, I might be relaxing and suddenly have a strong urge to urinate, going from 0 to urgent instantly. Then, I run to the bathroom and barely make it in time. Story 28. Not having an awareness of your innate talents, strengths, and traits. I did not accomplish much during my college days, but being around men, I sometimes sense that, in general, men these days lack self-confidence and self-awareness. Story 29. Most of the time, it is important to start almost anything with a woman, even if she is attracted or interested. Story 30. If conscription is brought back, all the men have to leave and fight and most likely die. You all wanted equal rights, right? Only until things get difficult. Story 31. You are expected to give everything you have for other people and not be appreciated for it. I am feeling this way especially right now. I have not even started my summer job yet, But my mom is still taking all my money, shorting me when she pays me back, and not giving me any of the respect I deserve for everything I pay for after just graduating high school. I am in a relationship where I make the vast majority of the sacrifices. I am not the only one, not by a long shot. This is how it is for over half of men, especially in the United States. Story 32. Constantly being seen as a threat. All the while, I am not thinking about what I am going to do to her. I am thinking, what am I going to do if she hits me with a false allegation? Another example is in my friend group. There is a young girl, 19 years old, whom I enjoy teasing, just like my own daughter, 23 years old. But I am worried someone might think I am trying to flirt or something, so I try to stay aware of that. Story 33. The frustration of dealing with women involves having two heads and often thinking with the wrong one. Story 34. I hate being expected to be a provider, but never being able to comment on my partner's financial habits. I mind paying for things, but it is exhausting to struggle to afford going out while my girlfriend is buying more concert tickets. Story 35. Being an average guy, no girl is going to pay for dates, your drinks at bars, your Uber ride to meet up, and another Uber ride back home. There are no double standards like, I want to be strong and independent, but you have to pay for my things. You also have to treat me like a queen, but I am not your mother, so I'm not going to cook and clean for you. You are a grown man. You should be doing all that yourself. Yes, I am a grown woman, but you still need to pay for my expenses because I am a girl and you are a man. Also, when women hit us, we cannot hit back because their hitting us is swept under the rug, but not the other way around. We cannot lie and say, she forced me to sleep with her, or I was too drunk to consent, or I agreed at first, but I woke up and regretted it. So I am taking back my consent and going to call the police on you. Believe it or not, I have had many regrets in the morning once I saw them without makeup, and I really regretted my decision. Additionally, girls can call guys bald, fat, ugly, and criticize their private parts, but not the other way around because it is rude, not gentlemanly, misogynistic, and body-shaming. How dare you? Anyway, being a man is both heaven and hell. Heaven is because we men are truly independent and strong. I feel empowered being a man because I know I can do anything in this world without needing another person. I could build a house from the ground up for myself if I wanted to. Story 36. How we push through our daily responsibilities despite having elbow and shoulder pain because, at the end of the day, we are relied upon to be providers. Sometimes the pain is unbearable, but we endure it and pretend it does not exist. Story 37. Being expected to deal with mental problems and or take punishment or abuse but not be allowed to say or do anything about it. Story 38. After we reach puberty, we are subconsciously and sometimes consciously taught to hide our emotions. This is reinforced by culture and the media, and we are often shamed if we show anything other than humor or anger. Our friendships after leaving school become more shallow and less close. The typical man does not make many new friends as he gets older. He just tries to hold on to the ones he still has. Story 39. You are born with zero value, and you have to spend your life building it. The saddest part is that a long time does not guarantee that you will be in your prime. Story 40. You are replaceable and interchangeable. You can only derive value from being useful or standing out from the norm. You do not have inherent value. Story 41. Falling in love with someone who does not love you back and having to deal with all the repercussions and consequences while pretending everything is okay when you are really struggling. Story 42. Others have no idea how hard your life gets, but you conceal all those difficulties under a fake smile and a silent voice. Story 43. If someone assaults my child, it will probably be you because statistically it is a known male. I know the statistics and agree we should be cautious, yet it is still offensive that friends have said to my face that I will be the person to assault their daughter if it ever happens, for no reason other than they know me and I am a man. They said it the same hour as they said they love me and trust me. I have been a family friend for decades, and they would agree and say I am not a creep. Story 44. No one cares about how we are feeling. The only ones in our lives to ever love us unconditionally are our mothers and mother figures. After that, we are only loved for what we can provide. Story 45. When we received a trophy, we could not display it. Lexington Steele had a gold trophy and showed it in movies. That trophy was like a chihuahua that needed to be mounted. Story 46. The draft is honestly concerning, especially in the current political climate. I have a baby on the way, and I might be pulled from my pregnant wife to go serve in a dangerous conflict in Iran. It is unlikely, but it feels like it is becoming more possible. The fact that this could happen to me at all is upsetting. Story 47. Testicles on the outside. You will never be able to convince me that intelligent design is a viable option for our origin when God could not even get that part right. Story 48. This is a good question and many things come to mind, but these two generalizations about men are the worst parts of being a man. 1. How often we are shamed for wanting sex. There is a common assumption that male desire is crude or even threatening. One of the most frequent questions women ask about men is, "Why are you so obsessed with sex?" Here is my answer. Because sex is fun and pleasure is good for you. That should not be a character flaw. It is human, yet men are often put down for something natural. Being criticized for it is exhausting and chips away at our self-worth. And dare I say, the trust others have in us. Some women think every man who communicates with them only wants sex. I am not ashamed to say it. There is nothing wrong with wanting connection, intimacy, and yes, pleasure. We need to stop thinking male desire is a defect. It is not. The second worst thing about being a man is that we are assumed to be a threat and not trusted as protectors. Men are often treated as if we all have hidden motives, especially in public when around women or children. It is a quiet, constant suspicion we learn to live with. Sometimes it is very awkward and uncomfortable to be placed in certain situations. Let me give an example. I go out of my way to never engage with children, not making eye contact, not smiling, not even acknowledging them, to avoid any chance of being misunderstood. So if I am at a restaurant and a child comes over to the table, I purposely ignore them. It is not what I want to do naturally, and it is not because I do not like children. It is because I am mindful of how quickly perception can turn into accusation. Just one wrong look, a smile, or one wrong assumption can cause an accusation. So I keep my distance. It is safer that way. It is the same thing at the gym. Some women dress provocatively, and I purposely do not look at them. I do not want that woman or others to think, "What is that older man looking at me for? He is a creep." I seriously doubt most women have ever had to think like that around other people. But I bet many men know exactly what I am talking about. Story 49. I think it is pretty neat actually, but if there is one thing that is unpleasant, it is getting kicked in the crotch during sparring and being out for minutes while the women just shake it off. Story 50. The price of sex and not being able to dress as provocatively as you want. I think some people believe that some men do not want to dress provocatively or try on underwear and skirts. They are mistaken. Story 51. Not being able to trust women or police officers is difficult. It is not about hating them but about lacking trust. Being hateful often makes one appear as the antagonist. Studies show women commit abuse more often than men and are more likely to be seen as victims. The police, mostly men, are responsible for enforcing the law. I had an ex-girlfriend involve me in the legal system after I left her and moved away. The police found no evidence of abuse when they spoke with her, but they still came to my home to serve a court date. The officer told me, "I'm sorry about this. Please stay away from her, or you will give her exactly what she wants." Story 52. In general, men have fewer rights than women, especially in conservative states like Texas. Men usually come up short in divorce proceedings and often lose custody. My coworker lost his daughter to his ex-wife, who has a drug-addicted boyfriend and does not have a job. Women have far more societal power over men than the other way around. A woman can accuse a man of sexual assault, and the man can be sent to prison without questions asked. There are other examples, but that is just off the top of my head. That being said, I do realize that men generally have more physical safety than women. However, when it comes to rights, women prevail in modern society. Story 53. Having to read embarrassing posts and comments like this makes it difficult to share a gender with most of you who dislike yourself. Story 54. Having an extra-large penis can be challenging. It often gets in the way, dangling in the water when sitting on the toilet, and I have not found a woman who can handle it all. Sorry for the humble brag. Story 55. Other men who will not take responsibility for their actions and those who will not step up when they see unacceptable behavior in others. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.